The city of Los Angeles looms in the moonlit night, devoid of any obvious signs of life and light, with the exception of fires raging in entire blocks. A huge horde of infected people is beating on the doors of a nearby stadium. 3 families are preparing to leave their home after learning about Operation Cobalt from Andrew. Daniel wants to kill him, but Travis claims that without him they won't be able to find Griselda, Nick and Lisa at the command post. Travis persuades Daniel to let him take Andrew with him. Daniel tries to reconcile with Ophelia, asking her for help in implementing the plan. She still worries that her father is guilty of torture in El Salvador. He believes that, without talking about it, he was protecting her. In Travis' truck, Andrew begs to let him go, as he knows Daniel will eventually kill him, and Travis agrees. They head to one of the checkpoints, and on the way they see a family who is spending an ordinary evening, unaware of the current situation. They get to a checkpoint where there are no soldiers. Daniel opens the gate and all 3 cars pass by. Later, Daniel accidentally approaches a military command post, where he is noticed by 2 soldiers. They argue whether he is a walker, to which one soldier jokingly tells the other that the dead do not use tools, although they suspect that he may be infected. They tell him to stay where he is, otherwise they will shoot him. Daniel tells them to take care of the bullets, and they leave. 2 soldiers notice a herd of zombies and warn the camp about the appearance of infected. The screen shows that Daniel released all the infected from the stadium where they were locked up by the military, and their number is in the thousands. Daniel, Ophelia, Madison, Travis, Alicia and Chris sneak into the camp through another entrance, distracted by zombies. Alicia and Chris stay with the car. Bethany Lisa hears gunshots outside and watches the growing number of infected behind the fences, while soldiers try to weaken them with fire. The medical evacuation is sent without them, assessing the situation as too dangerous, so Bethany tells everyone to go down and join the military evacuation, insisting that she will take care of the patients. When Lisa hesitates, Bethany persuades her to leave with the others, and she reluctantly agrees. In the parking lot, Alicia and Chris discuss what will happen if the others don't come back. Chris notices shadows behind Alicia and they get into the car. Believing that they are infected, they plan to hide until they pass by, but the windows of the car break, and they are forcibly pulled out of it by 3 soldiers. The officer asks Chris for the car keys, as they plan to escape from the scene of the crime, saving their lives. Chris refuses to give them up, and another soldier taunts him, offering to take the 2 of them with him. Chris refuses to comply, and the 3rd soldier takes a step towards Alicia. Chris angrily intervenes. A small scuffle begins, which Alicia stops by announcing that she has the keys and passes them to the soldier. The soldier tries to grab Alicia by the hair, asking if she's sure she doesn't want to go with them. Enraged, Chris steps between them again, and the soldiers quickly surround him. He punches one of them in the face, but the retaliatory blow knocks him unconscious. In the cell with Trend and Nick hear the shots and the screams of the departing soldiers and decide it's time to leave. Trend is looking for the key to their camera, but can't find it, and Nick says that he stole the key from him, which impresses Trend. They leave the cell and, at the insistence of the Trend, pass by all the other prisoners, demanding that they too be released. Nick asks Trend where they are going, to which he replies that they are going to get to the transport and find Abigail. They run through the door in which the sensor is triggered. After going through the door, they discover a zombie devouring Melvin, the officer with whom C. Trend was bargaining in the pre-trial detention cell. The C. Trend goes to him, much to Nick's concern, but he assures him that the infected are slow. STRD picks up his cufflinks. Melvin asks to be euthanized, but Trend coldly responds, "You're already on your way to it." The infected break in, the SD takes the gun from the dead soldier, and they retreat. Lisa leaves the building and watches the evacuation of the military. Soldiers shoot down a huge horde of infected people huddled against fences, while other people get into military vehicles and helicopters. She approaches one of the evacuation helicopters and is offered a hand to get on board, but after a short pause she refuses. At this moment, a gap appears in the fences, and walkers begin to seep into the territory. She watches as soldiers with special forces try to contain the breakthrough, but they are overpowered. One of them is brutally bitten on the neck, and he desperately tries to get into the helicopter, but they won't let him in when the soldiers realize that he is infected. He runs to the back of the helicopter and kills himself with the propeller blades to avoid being revived. Due to the huge number of infected people, the fences do not stand up, and they begin to penetrate inside. The tower also topples over, and the soldiers who were on it quickly die. Realizing that containment failed, the surviving soldiers retreat, as more of them fall into the hands of walkers. Lisa runs back into the building. While inside, the four go to the cells, where they are shocked that there are people inside. They ask Nick and Griselda, and one man asks them if it was a boy with a man in a suit. They realize it's about Nick, so Travis frees everyone with his rifle. With Trend and Nick running from the infected back to the door through which they entered. They can't open it because they unknowingly activated the locking mechanism. Trend is trying to open other doors, but it can't. Zombies are getting closer and cutting off their escape route. Nick notices Madison and the others on the other side of the door, considers their situation hopeless and tells his mother to leave. However, Lisa reunites with the group and barely manages to save them by using her card to bypass the system and open the door. The group makes its way to the kitchen and dining room, where it fights off new infected. After walking through the dining room, Daniel asks Lisa where Griselda is. Lisa can't answer, and Daniel realizes that Griselda has passed away. Ophelia is trying to come to terms with her mother's death and wants to get more information. She says she wants to see her mother, to which Lisa replies that there is nothing else to look at. Trend tells Madison that he has a house on the water with supplies. As they pass through a parking lot filled with the remains of the infected, Ophelia and Daniel watch them, believing that Griselda's remains are among them. In the parking lot, Madison and Travis find Chris and Alicia, who inform them that the soldiers took their SUV while they were away. Andrew appears and points the gun at Daniel. Ophelia tries to convince him to put down his gun, but instead he shoots her in the arm. Enraged, Travis knocks Andrew to the ground and begins to beat him brutally and mercilessly until Madison manages to get him to stop. He gives up and walks away, putting his hands on his truck and shuddering, shocked by what he has done. After this incident, the group seizes their remaining cars and heads back to Los Angeles, which seems to be completely abandoned. Madison asks Trend for instructions, and he replies that there is no need to go on the freeway or to the city center. He advises her to go left to the river and follow the path. Large fires have engulfed entire neighborhoods throughout the city. They get to the house from the Trend, which disables the security system and lets them in, offering them food if they want. Nick tells Madison that it seems to him that he has lived in the current situation much longer than the others, and that they have just caught up with him. Lisa gives Daniel some medical supplies, informing him that Ophelia's wound is clotting and that the tissue needs to be changed regularly. Daniel thanks her and Lisa hugs Chris before leaving. Madison runs after her, and Travis, noticing Madison leaving, also follows her. On the balcony, Trend tells Nick that they can't stay, because in order to survive, you need to make crazy decisions. He suggests Nick to look through the telescope, and Nick finds Abigail, who is a yacht off the coast. Madison continues to follow Lisa. She asks her why she went so far, and Lisa discovers a bite wound from one of the infected, which she received when they ran through the kitchen. She hands her the gun, reminding her of their promise and that Travis will be heartbroken if he has to do it. Travis shows up and asks what's going on. Madison tells him that she has a bite wound and Travis says they can save her, but Lisa tells him that antibiotics are not helping. Completely confused, heartbroken, Travis asks Madison for a gun and shoots Lisa. Everyone hears the shot. Alicia and Chris are looking for the source, and Nick and Trend are wondering where it came from. Chris finds Lisa's body and starts crying, and Travis, heartbroken, falls to his knees on the beach and Madison comforts him.